Welcome to a well-being-centric vision in an AGI world. This is Carlito Fluito, and I'm going to share some of my thoughts and visions about what's going to happen in the planet in the next years. And I believe this is a very important topic that all of us should be conscious and aware of. And I'm going to guide you through these different steps. In the first one, I'm going to set you up in an introduction of why and how I arrived to these conclusions. And then I'm going to tell you the story of a day in Utopia, which is how I envision the future. And finally, I'm going to give you an opportunity to co-create today this utopian future. So let's start with the introduction. First of all, none of us could have expected 15 years ago that this is the standard of society. Like, thanks to the advance of the technological information and technologies, and especially social media, we have somehow, all of us ended up looking at a smartphone. And this is something that happens so commonly. Like, people start going more inwards and they start to become more isolated and at the same time more bored. So this is the present that we are creating, where we live a life of boring loneliness indoors. And it might look like this or it might look like this. So it doesn't matter almost where are you in the planet. If you have a smartphone, the whole social media mechanisms might have hijacked our attention to become glued to the screen. And I'm sure that many of you are familiar with this series called Black Mirror. Otherwise, I strongly recommend you to check it. And because we have so many already dystopian negative outcomes of how the future could look like, what I bring you here today is a more positive, optimistic outview of this future. And in many occasions, I'm using as reference Black Mirror because there are many of the technologies that are presented throughout the series that can be utilized, but for the benefit. So this reminds me to the Pygmalion effect, where the sculptor falls in love with the perfection of the creation. And we are Pygmalion in this case because we can create and co-create this wonderful world and this wonderful society. And it's in our responsibility to make it in the most best way possible, because then we might end up falling in love with this lovely thing that comes to life. So how our positive expectations about the future might become true because we truly believe that this is possible and we all move towards that direction instead of going to the dystopian scenarios. And throughout the presentation, I'm using also the life book category of what a life is divided of. So these are different areas that our lives can be categorized and divided. So how throughout the presentation, we will see how the future technology and especially AGI can have an impact in all these different categories of our lives, increasing the quality of life. As well as I'm making a reference to the value equation from Alex Hormozi, because this is a really powerful and simple framework to understand how technology evolves, as well as how psychology and human psychology and especially consumerism works. So we have a dream outcome. We want something really good to happen, and then we believe that this thing is possible. So that's the perceived likelihood of achievement. So I want to lose weight, and then I believe that I can lose weight. And that's divided by time delay, which is in how much time does it take to lose that weight and how much effort and sacrifice does it takes me. And the example all that Alex says is like, if I want to lose weight and I go to the gym, that's going to take a long time and it's going to take a lot of effort and sacrifice, and I don't know if I'm going to lose weight or not. However, if I want to lose weight and I know 100% for sure that I'm going to lose it, and it doesn't take time and it doesn't take any effort, then I take a surgery and then I go to the hospital and I get all this fat removed. So that's why the surgery is much more valuable than going to the gym. And this will help us understand some of the upcoming technologies. So this is the introduction. Let's go with the second part, the 2037, 15 years. It might be less, it might be more, it might be some of the technologies that I'm going to present you more, some of them less. And this is a day in Utopia. So we are already in a world that has AGI. So we have this artificial general intelligence that is able to process, analyze, and understand huge, massive amounts of data that are being inputted through so many mechanisms, as well as from all these humans. So there is this computer, this AGI, that is processing this data, and let's imagine that the outcome of this AGI is always into increasing the well-being of humanity. So what if you could wake up in this house container where you own this container? And this is a solution for some of the problems that are happening nowadays around moving from one city to another and having to find new places, having to find new houses, and having to move all your stuff. And instead of that, imagine that this container is everything that you own and everything is there. So you can move this throughout the planet. So you can choose where you want to live for the next month, the next 6 months, or the next year. And you can either be on the middle of nature or you can be on cities. So you wake up in your container and then you put these augmented reality lenses. And this can be lenses, this can be glasses. And this works because it will help you to document your life. So you are basically recording everything that is happening in your life, visually and auditorily as well. And all of this is information that is being fed to the AI. And at the same time, you are able to project augmented reality into these lenses so you can see things around you. And this is where the AGI and the perception is merged. So imagine that you see a banana, and then you can see all the calories and all the nutritional value. And this is adjusted to your own health. And that's why you are also going to put different biohacking devices in your body. And as I was mentioning, some of this technology is already in development or is already existing. So throughout this whole body scanning and body tracking of your physiological functioning, then you get personalized information about your health and about the things that you can do to improve your health and your lifespan. So everything in your body is being tracked. And at that point, you receive a notification, which is your daily agenda. So the AGI has prepared for you like what's happening that day. And it happens that that day, thanks to all the data processed by the biohacking devices about your health, you have to go to the city for a health check appointment. And that's why you move your container thanks to automated vehicles. So this can be a truck or this can be a ship. And eventually you are set up in these different buildings, and they are modular buildings. So your container is going to be placed in the city of the hospital. So once you arrive to the hospital, it's going to be mostly automated. So you're going to have a robot intervention. It might be collaborating with a human. And this is going to do a full health review and a health check of what's going on in your body at that point. And this can set up a series of well-being routines. So it's going to suggest you the different things or activities that you can do. And all of this is personalized to your specific physiology, metabolism, and goals as well. So do you want to become better at running? So then you run. And what is the optimization of that? Is running on the nature. And this is how the well-being routines are being developed. And at the same time, your diet is totally personalized. So according to your own macrobiota, for example, or microbiota, the gut, the bacteria in your gut, then you're going to have a series of specific diet that is exactly perfect for you. And how the food is delivered, so the food will be delivered either by drones or automated vehicles. And even better is if there is hydroponic or aeroponic agriculture. And if this is vertical farming, that is happening ideally inside the city. So this is merged with the buildings, or you can even own your own small greenhouse that you can take with you wherever you go. And this is how the whole complex of the city would look like the modular buildings, which are these containers, and then you have the hydroponic agriculture greenhouses, either on the buildings, below the buildings, or on top of the buildings. And all of the transportation is automated, and this already happens in many cities where you have subways that are totally automated, and then cars, and then trucks as well. In a similar way, all your expenses are being tracked and automated, and this is like you might have a device, which can be any of these biohacking devices in your body, and they are connected to your bank account. So whenever you are doing a transaction, that is being transferred to your bank account. So that information is being taken care of. So you don't need to care. You don't need to take care about your finances. There is an AI that is taking care of that, and it's making the transactions automatically. And at some point, you might have to go to work, and this might be a remote work, or might be a hybrid where you are projecting yourself like remotely, and then you present your digital body into these rooms or space, or you might decide and prefer to work directly into the office buildings. And as well, you will play, because that's what we do in Playing Camp. We all play together, and we are happy, and we have fun. And that is something that we are already doing, which is balancing work and play in our lives, so we can enjoy the day-to-day, and we can have joyful connections in nature in every one of our days. So in the future, we will have much more balance and more prioritization of well-being, where work and play will have the same relevance and importance. After that, you will go to the canteen, to the cafe, and as you already know, your diet is totally personalized, and this can help into the distribution of food, which means all the food is arriving to this canteen, these lunch places, which are like restaurants, but let's envision like a more communal living, and this can be a bit communist where all the resources are allocated together, so the efficiency of the processes is higher. And this can be done with AGI, because it's basically a higher computer power and a calculation of how much food is being processed, how far of the place of consumption. So all of this can be automated, and then the robots can be the ones cooking these different foods. You want to grow as a person, and this is why there is an AI personalized device for your personal growth, and this is taking care of your education. So what are the knowledge that you want to learn, and this AI will train you and indicate you which knowledge to discover, as well as your character and your personality, which aspects of your personality you want to develop, and which habits do you need to perform for that, as well as for your professional career, which skills do you want to develop, and then this AI can train you for that, or artistic interests as well, and it can feed you and teach you, as well as spiritual practices. So this is like an AI coach that knows you better than anyone else, and is feeding you information, and is making a routine and a plan of the things that you want to grow and how you want to grow in life. And you might go to the school to pick up your kids, and the education will be a model based on curiosity. So what is the interest of the kids at a given time, and the kids will have a direct impact in society. So the whole education is based on project. So based on first principles, how the kids can come up with new solutions about society, and how they can come up with new projects and to implement them. So education at the moment is about acquiring knowledge. In the future will be about applying this knowledge into actual problems that are happening in life. And to get dressed, because you might not have kids, you might want to go for a date that day and meet some person. You might have these dresses that can adjust automatically to your preferences that day. So maybe with one dress, you can have infinite amount of clothes. Or you might want to go for Carlito Fluito, which is these patterns from Africa that bring your own personality into your clothes. So then you can show who you truly are in a joyful, unique, characteristic way into the world as you move around. And you might think like, okay, how did I meet this person for the date, or how do I meet my friends? There's going to be another AI, which is this AI social, that is going to be focused on prioritizing what are your social needs and who to meet. So this goes around friendships, networking, romantic partnerships, as well as into the parenting style. So there is different devices that can record everything that is going on, and they know everything about your interests and your values and the direction that you want to take your life towards. So thanks to this, AI is going to be a matchmaker to find people that is aligned with these interests. And you might go later to the Center of Research for Consciousness, where you can explore and understand more about what's going on in your own self, in your own being. And this is because once we reach AGI and we start to understand and explore and control more of the external world, there will be a trend coming inwards and understanding better what is being alive, what is consciousness. Therefore, there will be an increase of these type of centers where you can explore more deeply into different spiritual technologies and also into how they affect your own unique personality and being. And this is something that is being developed, has been envisioned by SPIPC, Spirituality and Psychology, with the intention of opening one of these centers in Zambia in the upcoming years. And the power of this is to bring the body to new levels of achievement. So as I mentioned before in the value equation, there is this consumerism habit of getting the easiest, fastest solution. However, there is something intrinsic in the well-being of human beings, which goes around how can I grow, how can I achieve things that are difficult for me. And the example here is this Tumo monk, which by the power of his own attention and power of concentration, is able to focus and control his body temperature, so he is able to dry this blanket in the middle of the snow. And this is not the future, this is something that has been happening in the past, the same as yogis. So how can we keep that powerful human consciousness fit? Like how can we keep on developing and nurture all these abilities to keep our body and our mind in our optimal state through introspection? And this is the dystopic future that we are all trying to avoid, which is becoming a Ready Player One sort of dystopian world where we are all plugged into screens, into our eyes, and we just move our bodies and our consciousness to fake realities. And in the view that we are attempting to build here, we want to stay in this physical world. We like our bodies and we want to nurture and explore them and grow them. And that's why a better way of entertaining ourselves is to observe and to manifest a rise in the art. And this is art for the sake of art. So the same way like chess is on the rise, now that computers play chess better than any human, in the future, we might be conscious that machines can create art much better or faster than us, like is happening now with the image generation. However, what if we proactively and intrinsically value and produce art for the sake of art? Because it's going to help us express and it's going to help us grow. And this is what will happen. And specifically on the world of performing arts, with Raining Rosas, I have been creating and I have been opening this physical theater company with the exploration of different neurochemicals, like in this case, oxytocin. And this is one of the trends, and this is how I'm investing my time and my energy into building these different projects, because I see that in the future, people will come back to the bodies and they will come back to achieving these things through a body training, through a mind training, through the training of our potentiality. And performing arts, for me, is one of the most powerful playgrounds to develop all these skills. And speaking about finances, I believe on the UBI, in the Universal Basic Income. Still, there will be a sort of currency where people are valued by the input that they do into society. So how much goodwill are you putting into society? Then society will be reinforcing you for these actions. And I believe we might move towards a single coin And this is because all these transactions can be simplified and globalized. It might be cryptocurrency, it might be based on blockchain, so then the whole financial system is decentralized and is safer for the individuals that have the power and the currency. And the government will be a world government, AI power, where they are taking decisions based on the best well-being and goodwill of humankind. And then, at some point, the brain-machine interfaces will appear, and we will upload our consciousness to computers, and computers will download all their knowledge into our brains. And from there, everything will be different, because then we don't need to learn things, we just need to download, and then we'll automatically know things. And this will open up new landscape, which basically none of us can predict, and we will explore the universe inwards and outwards by going to another planet and exploring our now altered consciousness, which will be the end of humankind to be the beginning of something different. And now, if you want to co-create this future universe today here in planet Earth, and you're feeling like jumping into this opportunity, I have something for you, because you have been doing this with your family, you have been doing this with your group of friends, you have been maybe dancing on the sunrise, or maybe singing on the sunset. And this is something that you can do in the river during summertime, or you can do with the snow during the winter at the mountains, or you can do it at the beach, or you can do it on the top of a mountain. And this is to have joyful connections in nature. And this is what I'm bringing to you with Plain Camp, and this is what I'm bringing nowadays with companies. And this is my message to move from human doings, people that are doing things, to human beings, back to be on the present moment, be alive and be conscious with other people, and fostering joyful connections in nature. And this is the experience of the playground for other people and for everyone. Because what's the most important thing of being alive and being a human is not what you do, but how are you and how you much enjoy your life in the present moment. And this is what I'm bringing you when you are with other people, when you're playing, when you're laughing, when you're fully alive in the present moment. And if you want to bring the playground, and in this case the play camp, to your workplace, then just go to plaincamp.com and discover much more about how can we start working together, and how can I help you to bring this Plain Camp experience to your workforce, so they are happier, they are more joyful, and therefore they are more productive, and they can make more money also for your company. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the future.